right, guys. Sorry for the in the truck before work fishing report, but it's the only spare time I have. We'll get this information out to you because it's a dandy this week. Let's start off with conditions, water conditions. Temperatures in the low 60s, depending on how far up the lake you are. Color is absolutely perfect. It's that Tennessee River green. Just makes me so happy. The lake level is just above those sycamore trees, so you still got 5 or 6 feet before summer pool. The information I'm going to pass along to you are the patterns, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because they're simple, and I want you all to see all these fish catches I've caught on here, because Tuesday I had one of the best days on the lake I've ever had. Probably caught 12 to 15 keepers by myself. Probably caught 40 fish. I mean 12 to 15 keeper smallmouth. Every spot that I stopped at, I expected to catch giants. It was ridiculous. I mean, it's insane. So 3 patterns. Sunday I went, we caught some fish early, caught some smallmouth early. Then we had to kind of punt and sight fish for largemouth. So one pattern you can go do right now is sight fish for largemouth. We still had 15, 16 pounds of fish on Sunday, but it was sight fish and largemouth. I don't like to do that. I don't like to stand around and pester a fish all day. But you can do it. It's a viable option. Second pattern that I found, and the sight fishing was Sunday. Tuesday, yesterday, were these 2 patterns. And the first pattern, which wasn't as great, but I think you can still catch some big fish doing, is that there are fish in all phases of the spawn. There are pre-spawners, there's spawners, and there's post-spawners. And you can catch those post-spawners on the outsides of those pockets. So where you would think a fish would spawn, outside of that, you can go first thing in the morning for an hour and a half, jerk bait, swim bait those fish. There's fish there to be caught. I caught one good one doing it yesterday, and then that bite died. Now, the pattern that I absolutely destroyed them on yesterday, I said they're fish in all phases of the spawn. The biggest wave of fish right now are spawning. They're in those spawning pockets, those protected drains, those run-ins, guts, whatever you want to call them. If you look on a map, there'll be a straight line where the creek goes, and then an indention. And those indentions, those spawning pockets, those protected areas, normally there's a waterfall coming in the back. Those areas are absolutely on fire right now. Find a creek where there's a bunch of them and just run those pockets all day. 2 baits I caught them on. I tried a bunch of stuff. I tried to flip it, throw a jig, whatever. But there's only 2 baits they'll eat, and they're both finesse baits. One is a shaky head. I throw a Berkeley power worm shaky head. Green pumpkin. Love it. Like if there's a bunch of crap in the water where you can't throw a drop shot, throw that shaky head. They're destroying it. I mean, you won't even feel them bite. You'll just see your line take off towards the middle. Anything in the water that they can spawn on, a big rock or a stump or a sycamore tree, that's where they're spawning at the base of that stuff. So specifically pitch at that. If you don't have anything in there, throw where the water's coming in, work it out, and you'll have a fish by the time that gets back to the boat. Until they finish spawning, you will have a fish at that pattern every single time. I'm not kidding. Every single pocket that I came to, I caught a fish out of. The second bait, and the best one, the one I caught the most big fish on, is that Berkeley Max Scent flatworm. I preached it to you guys a few weeks ago, and it's even got better. I'm telling you, that bait is ridiculous right now. Insane. I start my video off with 2 absolute giants on that bait. And I know they have them at backwaters now. I bought 12 packs of them at backwaters, so I know they have them. Call Brad at backwaters and he'll hook you up with that. But those spawning pockets are insane. I can't press enough. Just hit those spawning pockets over and over and over again. Just run it. Don't run any flat banks. Don't run any bluffs or anything. Run those spawning pockets and you'll catch fish. The bigger pockets, the ones that are like as big as maybe a basketball court or bigger. See, in Kentucky, these guys from Ohio and Tennessee might not realize this, but in Kentucky, we have this sport called basketball. I'm just kidding. The pockets that are like big as a basketball court will hold a bunch of small fish. The smaller ones will hold 1 big fish. I think that's because the big fish can patrol that pocket and chase everything else off. The big pockets, they have a hard time chasing all the little fish off, so they get in there and spawn too. Which is fun to get in there and catch numbers, but if you just want big fish, hit those small pockets. So yeah, there's 3 patterns to try this weekend. If it were me, I'd get a shaky head and a Max Scent flatworm on a drop shot and go have a field day because it's ridiculous right now. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, comment on this video, whatever. I hope it helps somebody. It has to help somebody. You'll see watch these fish sketches. I know it gets boring because it takes so long to get a fish in on 6 pound leader, but you can skip through it too. But there's like first 6 are giants, and then there's just a bunch of small fish. But I didn't get them all on video, but there's so many. I'm so proud of this collection of videos here because it's just all big fish. It shouldn't have been a good day of fishing. Post frontal, bluebird skies, windy. You can see I changed clothes all day because I froze and then burn up, froze and then burn up. But it was an absolute phenomenal day. Enjoy this. Let me know what you do. Please let me know what you do.
Golly. Golly. Oh my gosh. Stop it. Don't jump, stop jumping. Oh man, anybody that says finesse stuff doesn't catch them is dumb. That thing. He just came up and rolled on a mag draft. I was slow rolling a mag draft down that bank. He came up and flashed at it. Set the mag draft down, pitched that little flatworm back out. Caught him. Hardest fighting fish I've ever had. Still fat. I think it's pre-spawn, honestly. Not beat up at all. Another giant. Another giant on the drop shot. Let's get the net. Look, if you don't have this little worm, you're doing yourself a disservice. Look at that. Man, look at that man. Getting ready to pop. Just messed up my trolling motor. I don't even care right now. Look at this. I mean, just ready to pop. You got fish in all stages of the spawn. This one looks pristine. She hadn't been on the nest a day, if anything. There's a big stump out in the water here, and I'm assuming she was spawning on the base of that stump. But if you can kind of predict where they're going to spawn at, these little protected pockets, if there's a big rock, if there's a stump, anything that's protected and they can get up against and spawn is a high percentage area. You won't see the beds. you're gonna have to predict where they're spawning. And almost every pocket I've gone into has had one where it should be. So get your finesse stuff. That one hasn't spawned yet. It's a 4-pounder. Big one. Finesse stuff's killing them today. You quit hitting moving baits and you have to finesse them, but if you go to where it looks like they're probably spawning and just drag finesse stuff, it looks like that's gonna be the deal today. Caught some real tanks already. Another one, just giant fish. Insane. Have you ever seen such a day of finesse fishing in your life? Just giant after absolute tank giant. Oh. That's a good one. He swam me across a tree or something down there. I thought he came off. Pretty good one. Probably 19 inches or so. Tail's looking like it's healing, and he's skinny, so he may have already spawned, which is crazy they spawned this early. But there you go.
insane. That's insane. I've lost so many fish today already, but I promise you I've never got this many bites either. I've never seen them eat a shaky head this good. I hate throwing a shaky head, but the finesse bite is insane. Every little pocket has had a fish, like every single little pocket. The big ones no, but if it's as big as a basketball court or smaller,